So how did this raft get found here?
So it's 1969. And there are a couple of farmers that came up to the mountain. They found a ceramic vessel, and inside of the vessel, there was the muisca raft. And they take the whole thing back to their home and tell the priest of the town that they have just found this.
Right. Did these farmers have any idea the significance of what they found?
Of course, they knew it was important, and that's why they told the priest, right? They could have kept it, and so we owe them to have the muisca raft right now.
Another part of this story is that so many muisca items were never turned in, right? There's been a ton of looting.
It's been a major problem, and most of the items in the Gold Museum come from looting.
But the biggest looters of all were the conquistadors.
There's probably lots that were lost when the Spaniards came because they just took the gold, melted, and brought it back to Spain.
The Spanish also seem to have overlooked the artistry of it. There was no appreciation for a lot of the mastery that went into what the muisca were able to make.
To the Spanish, gold has monetary value. To the muisca, it's in spiritual value.
I mean, that's the key right there. These two cultures that are completely opposed in terms of how they think about this stuff. To the Spanish, this is valuable, this is money. They're hiding money from us. Pretty hard for the muisca to be able to calculate the level of greed from the Spanish Empire, though.
True. And in the end, the muisca culture was nearly wiped out.
But the raft survived because it was hidden away up here.
Help me understand why the muisca would put something so beautiful in such a remote spot.
Mountains, top of the mountains, would be associated to sacred spots.
Right.
And the higher up, the more sacred they are. It has to do with the sacred land that belongs to the gods.
When we think about El Dorado, is part of what drives the Spanish to keep searching deeper and deeper into the mountains this very fact that people are concealing offerings and that some of these amazing glittering items are out of reach?
Absolutely, and it might have looked like that because, of course, the offerings were being made in remote places like this.
Right. It gives fuel to this obsession of theirs.
Yes.
As the Spanish went hunting for treasures in the mountains, but found only isolated offerings, they became more desperate. When de Quesada rode into a new village demanding gold, the muisca would attempt to dissuade his men, telling them the mother lode was deeper in the interior. El Dorado was always just one conquest away. This belief led de Quesada away from Lake Guadavita and deeper into muisca territory. I thank Natalia and follow Quesada's quest 140 miles northeast to a site called El Infernito, where archaeologist Pedro Arguello may have unearthed a treasure of his own.
Hi, Josh.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Mucho gusto. Nice to meet you, too. I feel like I'm at Stonehenge.
You are, in a way. It was a solar observatory used by muisca people.
Wow, okay, so these stones would align to what?
To mark December 21.
So the winter solstice.
The solstice, yeah. It helped them to mark the annual cycle for agriculture and ritual cycles and things like that.
Carved out of pink sandstone and aligned in two symmetrical rows, the position of the sun and moon in relation to these stones acts as an astrological calendar.
Now, this place, though, today is called El Infernito?
Yeah.
So if I remember my high school Spanish, that's like the hell?
A little hell.
The little hell?
Yeah, the little hell.
So why is it called that?
In some cases, Spaniards used to put this kind of names to the places where Indians used to make ritual.
So because this is a pagan place, it's not Christian, to them it was hell, it was evil.
Yeah.
This is like conquistador rebranding.
Rebranding, yes.
Right. This northern area was a big power center for the muisca.
Yeah, according to the Spaniards, there were two big chiefdoms, the Sipa and Saque, one of the north, one in the south.
And the Spanish, and de Quesada, the conquistador, he comes up to the north as well, right?
Yeah, the Spanish came here because they believed that it was full of gold. They were told that the gold was in the north.
Right, they didn't find this El Dorado in the south, so they believed, come up here.
Yeah.
So the Spanish arrive here, what do?
They do what they always do. First, they kidnap the leader and ask for gold.
Right, that's their big move, right? Kidnap the leader and demand that all this hidden gold be brought to them.
Uh-huh.
And so did they bring gold?
Yeah, people bring some gold, but it was not enough. So they decide to kill the leader.
It's never enough.
It's never enough for the Spaniards.
Right.
De Quesada and his army use every dirty trick in the conquistador playbook, ruthless betrayal, kidnapping, and murder to take down the Muisca chieftains in the north and south. In less than a year, the Muisca Confederation was crushed.
And now, in terms of the archaeology in this area today, what are you finding?
We have found enormous places with a lot of population, the places where the elite used to live.
Uh-huh.
We have found the houses, big burial sites.
Wow.
Actually, we are digging one of them right now. If you want to see.
I would love that. We are like in the middle of the campus. This is engineering building?
Yeah, it's an engineering building.
My quest to untangle the El Dorado myth has led me to the remains of a Muisca burial site, miraculously discovered in the heart of a Columbian University campus.
Like, what was here?
A parking lot.
Literally, this was a parking lot.
Yeah, it was a parking lot.
But underneath it, a Muisca site.
And it is a Muisca site also.
Oh, and so how did you figure out this was here?
Before we build a new building, we have to make an archaeological discovery.
How many burials have you found here?
120 burials.
120?
Yeah, actually it is one of the largest burial sites in the northern Andes.
The Muisca elite were buried with pots of food and precious gold jewelry, indicators of their high social status to ensure a good afterlife. The Spanish were aware of this practice and would rob Muisca graves, but they never found this site. Hundreds of vessels have been unearthed here, and now archaeologists are homing in on that most elusive prize, gold.
Hola.
Let me introduce Tatiana.
Hola,
She's the
Tatiana.
lead archaeologist in
Nice
the
to
site.
meet you, nice to meet you. The sifting station, where all the action happens.
Uh-huh.
What are we finding? Look at this.
Pottery.
Pottery, pottery, pottery. Incredible. Literally just buckets of dirt, and it is just filled with pottery.
It means that people used to live here.
Give me the range of dates on the pottery.
1200 años.
Wow, so 1,000, 1,200 years ago. So cool. Okay, can we see some of the pits?
Of course.
Let's
Come
take
here.
a look. Okay.
A nearby burial offers another window into the past.
Hola,
Hola.
¿cómo estás?
Bien.
What do we got here? Oh, this is awesome. It's vertebrae.
Yeah.
It's a long bone, yeah? Tibia, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
It's a tibia.
And then we have this ceramic vessel. So each of these pits is a single burial.
Sí.
See? They're not extensive. Were they buried like in a seated position?
Sentado en posición fetal.
Aha, fetal position. With ceremonial offerings?
Algunas veces.
Uh-huh. Sometimes. Okay, so let's see what else we've got.
There is no clear pattern to determine which Muisca burials hold offerings. Modern archaeologists are never sure what they're going to find.
Whoa. This is amazing. So we've got what looks like a vessel that's
It's a vessel,
collapsed.
and it is a human bones inside.
In the vessel.
In the vessel. And this is a child.
Wow. How many children's burials have you found here?
50.
50.
Yeah, 50.
And why so many children?
It's a good question, and we are trying to figure out why.
One intriguing possibility is that children were brought here for burial from neighboring villages.
So maybe more evidence here that this really is a significant site, a holy place.
A holy place, maybe.
Finding any burial is so personal, but when you find a child's burial, it's kind of emotional, you know? I mean, such a short life. But in a way, you know, 1,000 years or more later, kind of living again in a sense and teaching us about the culture it's incredible.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And even though this is broken, the preservation here really is remarkable considering it was all underneath a parking lot.
Yeah, it is because most of the burials have a slab.
Oh, so there was like a capstone
As capstone,
over the top.
yeah. Uh-huh.
So they would have had this protective cover.
Yes, actually, we have a burial that we haven't opened yet. So we are waiting for you.
A stone you haven't removed.
Yes, of course.
Oh, can we film it?
Come on.
Oh, yes, this is incredible.
Whatever lies inside hasn't seen the light of day in more than 1,000 years.
Ah, here. This is awesome. Wow. Okay, so do we lift? Do we flip?
Do we flip?
We flip. Okay. Are you ready?
1,
2,
2,
3. Definitely a burial.
Yes.
Perfectly round hole here. So now, what's inside?
Let's work.
Oh, with pleasure.
Start to work.
Here we go.
Okay.
Here.
Oh, right here. Oh,
Be careful.
right here. Look. Here, look.
Yeah, it's a hole and...
Is it ceramic?
No, it's a skull.
Is a skull. Look at that. That is a skull.
Yeah.
Can I have a brush?
definitely.
The skull is perfectly preserved, having been protected by its capstone. And until recently, a parking lot.
Look at this.
More skull. Oh,
No, it's not a skull.
that's a vessel.
It's a vessel.
It is. That's ceramic. Look at that. Is that intact?
Maybe.
Absolutely incredible.
Is the lip? Yeah.
There's the lip of the vessel right there.
Yes, it is.
Go ahead,
Vengan a mirar esto.
As we brush away more dirt, something unmistakable catches the light.
Oh, wait.
What is that? Ah!
Photo?
Sort of, yeah.
It's gold?
It's gold.
It's gold.
Yeah.
Ah!
It's a piece of gold.
Unbelievable. Look at this. This is incredible. It's gold and copper, yeah?
Yeah, it's tumbaga.
That is unbelievable.
Tumbaga is a copper and gold alloy made by the Muisca. Its lower melting point made it easier to work with than pure gold, and the presence of copper explains the green patina.
Have you found this in other pits?
No.
No?
No.
Ah, this is awesome.
We carefully remove more soil from around the skull.
Ah, this is incredible. There's more, 2 more. Another here?
Yep.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think?
I think it's a necklace.
I mean, look at the positioning of it right under the skull. That is absolutely incredible. This must have been someone significant, right?
Una persona importante, un líder.
Yeah.
Finally, after hours of painstaking brushing,
More.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
a dozen pyramid-shaped beads are revealed in all their glory.
When this was buried, it would have shined like gold.
Of course.
But over time, copper's oxidizing.
Yeah.
And is most of the Muisca gold like this?
In most of the cases, yes.
It's so fascinating because when we think of the myth of El Dorado and the Spanish obsession with the Muisca gold, we think of pure gold, but it really wasn't. And why is that?
It's because Muisca people doesn't have mines.
They weren't mining their own gold, but they were making a lot of things using gold. So the gold was coming from where?
From the Magdalena Valley.
They were trading for it?
Yeah.
And what would the Muisca use to trade for gold?
Salt.
Salt.
They used to trade gold by doing salt.
Salt was as valuable as gold.
Yeah. In some cases, more.
This is a stunning revelation. The Muisca didn't build a golden city or even a gold mine. In fact, they were known to other Colombian cultures as the Salt People. They used their expansive trade network to barter for gold and developed sophisticated metallurgy to transform this rare and precious resource into gifts for their gods.
You know, it's so funny because the Spanish think that the Muisca have endless gold. In reality, they have salt. We have this legend of El Dorado that is larger than life. You know, entire cities made of gold. But here is El Dorado. This is the reality. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Are there more of these around? Are there more stones we should be turning over?
Yeah.
I have gold fever now.
In fact, there are more stones to turn in the El Dorado legend, and mounting evidence suggesting that the conquistadors' belief in a great lost civilization may not have been so far-fetched.
It's clear that the rituals and precious offerings of the Muisca people helped fuel the Spanish obsession with El Dorado. But this legend is about more than just gold. It's also about an entire lost city.
When the Spanish arrived on Colombia's Caribbean coast, they encountered another indigenous group, the Tairona, a people richly adorned in gold jewelry. They attempted to raid a Tairona capital deep in the mountains, but were turned back before they could plunder its wealth. Outsiders wouldn't find the city for centuries.
That is until the 1970s, when looters deep in the jungle discovered an ancient ruin lost for 400 years, a place they called Ciudad Perdida, or the Lost City.
Soon after, glittering Tairona artifacts began flooding the black market, so much of it that the global price of gold actually dropped.
And now, archaeologists working at the Lost City have deployed cutting-edge scanning technology that has revealed something extraordinary. There may be even more undiscovered cities and lost treasure deeper in the jungle.